it's the fighters. It's always the fighters. When they ask for something and it's a fight that can be made, we're going to go do it. We've worked with Top Rank, many times in the past, and it seems like the relationship's just been getting better and better. And I'm looking forward to tonight. It's been a great event, great promotion, and obviously November 20th, we're going right back into it again. So it's worked very well together. Thank you.
Hold up. Time out. Can you reverse what you just said a few minutes ago? It's the what? The fighters that makes the fight, that want the fight, you go get the fight.
That's right. I know where you're going to go with this.
All right. I just want y'all to hear.
I don't know where you're going.
No.
But it's a new day.
It's definitely
a new day.
It's definitely a new day, but I just wanted y'all to hear that on camera. So y'all know that Terrence Crawford has been stale in the fights. All the fights that y'all been on this year. I just want y'all to know that. Live and direct.
All right, let me get on Terrence Crawford. And I want to thank him. I appreciate in that video clip that you said, hold up, wait. What did you just say? To PBC side, right? And they're talking about, yeah, we could, it's so good that we could work with Top Rank and blah, 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 right? And Terrence Crawford said, oh, just as long as you know, and don't blame it on the boxer. All right, I'm glad that you showed that it's not just the boxer, but it's also the networks and the promoters and the sanctioning bodies, right? There's not letting the fans see the fights that they want to see, right? But I'm glad that you announced this and you let him backtrack what he said, because he's like, well, it's so good to see that we could make a Wild and a Fury fight. It's so good to see the relationships between the PBC and Top Rank and how we could come together and make a Porter and a Bud fight and Kumbaya and everything is getting along very effing dandy. I'm so proud of my man Terrence Crawford letting people know, because as the fans know, in that clip, Bob Arum said, it's a new day. And we all know Bob Arum lies on this side and half lie on that side, just to, work with the time that he's working with, whatever. He's a promoter, right? And sometimes we get this conflict. Is it the boxer? Is it the promoter? Is it the network? Because, as fans, we like to blame the boxers sometimes and we used to like to use the word duck, but sometimes it's the promoters, and the promoters blame the networks, and the networks blame the promoters. Hey, the networks one, all they talking about is numbers, right? But then the promoters know that if the boxer let go his O, well, that shortens his pot. So he wants the biggest pot, and he will waste as much time as possible so we can see a fight, or we don't see a fight at all, okay? There's a lot of fights that we could have saw that we didn't see, right? Plus, sometimes it is the boxer ducking, but then we blame the promoter. And then sometimes it's all three of them, and we don't know who's who. So yeah, we could blame the boxer, for ducking, but then, it's the promoter that's holding up the fight or whatever, and it could be the networks. Everybody, it's three ways. Everybody could blame everybody, but mostly the fans always go to the boxer and say you ducking and this and that, right? And the yellowtail and everything like that, and they wait for the stars to align to fight at the right time, and you don't want to let your O go. So I'm just glad that Terrence Crawford did what he did. Very proud of this situation. So thank you again, Terrence Crawford, and I will never forget this. Because Bob Arum said it's a new day, and every channel out here should repeat what Bob Arum say. Anybody that's gonna talk to Bob Arum, remind him it's a new day. It's a new day. Now, let's move on. Like in my last video with Dennis UGAS, and like I said, this man, the WBA doing all kinds of situations, and I'm trying to figure out where they're going at and who's benefiting these moves. Who's benefiting it? These moves. Now, I know a lot of, on the black hand side, and I understand it, you might say it's race, right? And I also say it might be race, but I'm not going to be making a big deal. Yeah, they holding the black man down. I'm not going with that right now. Because also, if you take off your glasses and your vision, I know your only vision is on our color, but they effed over Manny Pacquiao also, and he is not black. All right? He's not black. So I know you're only seeing this. This is what you're seeing. Damn, how they going to do that to UGAS? Damn, how are they going to do that to ERROL Spence? They blocking unification over this damn stupid ass tournament. And I get what you're coming from. But let's not be a victim, because it also happened to Manny that's from the Philippines. All right? And they effed him over also. So they effed us over and they effed him over. Bottom line. So when it comes to this now, now sometimes I hear these YouTube channels talking about, well, they would never put Manny Pacquiao in a tournament. Man, you're right. I feel that same way too, but who knows? You know why I say who knows? Because they stripped Manny. Who knows what the hell these sanctioned bodies are up to? And the way they moving, it sounds like these moves are unnecessary when we at the top of the pinnacle where we need to see unification. And it's that easy because it's a new day, right? So we can see the winner of Porter and Bud Crawford. If Porter wins, well, it's going to be very easy because it's on the PBC. I'm kind of hostile, all right? But guess what? It's a new day. So if Terrence Crawford wins, we can see a fight with UGAS versus Terrence Crawford. Or we can see a fight, because it's a new day, with Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. These are fights we want to see. We don't want to see a tournament. But they're trying to clean their shit up. Talking about, we got to get all these belts, right? And I did my homework. I said in my last video, the divisions. Why are you doing just super champion division of welterweight? Why can't you do all this to all the divisions that's WA super champion? Why can't you? Right? So I'm looking, I see some of these mandatories in here and there, but you're missing the picture. You're missing the picture. UGAS beat Jamal James. So I really don't want to see that fight again. Okay, I don't want to see that fight. But it would make sense in a way. I'll get to that. The tournament where Jamal James got to fight Butnev, but then you got UGAS got to fight Stodonis. But guess what? He also beat Abel Ramos. That's in third in the rankings. And then I think number 2 is Ortiz, right? But he also beat Stodonis' last opponent. So UGAS did a lot, man. He beat Jamal James. He beat Stodonis' last opponent, right? This is ridiculous, yo. It's just ridiculous, and I'm not feeling this, because we're at the top of unification and this tournament, and I'm trying to figure out these moves. And sometimes when a WBA have these moves, you're trying to figure out who's benefited at the end. At the end of all this stuff, right? I want to see what boxer is coming on top, because the way I see it, there's 4 PBC fighters that's in the tournament. If you really want to do a tournament, you got Stodonis, you got Virgil Ortiz, right? You got Abel Ramos, if I can recall, at number 3. You have Boots Ennis in there. Why don't y'all see? But see, Boots Ennis is not. If I can recall, he's not a PBC fighter. And what's his guy name? Virgil Ortiz. He's not also. He's with Golden Boy, as I can recall. But if you're really about this tournament, don't separate the networks. Don't separate the promoters. Let's do a tournament. Not just with PBC fighters. So I really want to see what's going on and who's benefiting this shit at the end. Because these moves that the WBC is making sound like somebody's going under the table and say, do this and get that. Get that. Because these moves are not benefiting the boxer. These moves are not benefiting the fans for unification. It's not. Okay? So when I say, I don't want to see that fight with Jamal James, because it's so easy. You can say, okay, let's do a fight with Jamal James and UGAS, and we can end that instead of all these fights. But like we know, the sanction body's got to make money, so they want to have 3-4 fights and all that stuff, but not on account of unification. At this point where, we're waiting to see what's going on with Spence. And that's another thing. Let me move on to Spence now. Now, I just saw this video. Watch this video.
Super champion. With that said, he stated that the WBA, World Boxing Association, Gilberto Mendoza, they promised him that they would allow him to fight a unification bout with Errol Spence Jr. They even had a date. Now the date has been revealed that it was going to be February 22nd, I believe, of 2022, okay, of next year, okay? And now the WBA has denied Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas to fight for a unification bout, a 3-belt major mega showdown. They have denied them the opportunity to fight for 3 belts. And unifications usually trump mandatories. They decided that they want to give Yordenis Ugas a mandatory and place him in a tournament as well. Not just a mandatory, but Yordenis Ugas is in a tournament. They entered him into a tournament, and he has 30 days to negotiate the deal, or it's going to go to a purse bid, or he's going to lose the WBA title after the WBA promised Yordenis Ugas that he would fight for unification bout with Errol Spence Jr., okay? And clearly, Errol Spence, he was under the impression that he was going to fight for, a 3-belt sanctioned mega showdown, okay? Where he could unify the belts, okay, one more time, okay, in his comeback fight. So Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas, they had plans to square off February of 2022, and now Yordenis Ugas, he petitioned to be allowed to do so, and the WBA has denied that, and they're forcing the mandatory on him, okay? This is what's wrong with the sport of boxing. The WBA needs to be done away with, okay? Because the WBA has already had mega massive issues when it comes to the sport of boxing, as they've been found to have judges that were on the payroll in the fight with Michael Fox and Maestro. We see that to be the case.
Okay, now, we see this video with Blue Blood. Now, I'm hearing shit about... Now, I could see this... I could go with this 2 ways, right? Listen to what Blue Blood said. And I agree with everything Blue Blood said, but he said the word revealed. It's been revealed that the WBA, they promised Ugas a fight with Errol Spence. But my problem is now they revealed the date. Yeah, they revealed the date. And I'm trying to figure out how you could go from here to there. Now, I know a retina tear, a retina detach, it all can happen. And you got 2 to 4 weeks where you can get back. And some people heal different than others. Your vision might take 3 months to 6 months, right? This is all, Google it and all this shit, right? So everybody's different when they heal. I understand that. But then for them to set a date, then all of a sudden they say, Ugas, they set a date, a pre-date before. We don't even know what's going on with Errol Spence at the end. So you say, it sounds like, now I can take it like this. I said, okay, they just hoping that this is the date, and they said, let's plan. This is what Errol did. We're going to plan this date for the fight. Hopefully that I get cured right away, right? Because we know sometimes that detached retina, it takes time depending on the person. But it's so coincident that they're saying that the WBA and they revealed that they had a date with Spence. So I'm not going to go there with that right now. I'm not going to go there right there. Somewhere in February. And the last time I think that Manny Pacquiao fought was August. And I think August 10th is where Spence announced that he was not going to fight, right? So things are moving kind of fast and kind of slow and kind of awkward and all that stuff. But listen, the WBA, you're funking up the whole boxing shit. You're funking it up drastically, man. You're messing everything up. You're not doing what the fans want. You're not doing what the fans want. And if it's about having more fights so you could get money, talking about you're going to clean up the division, you can't even clean up the fucking rankings. You can't clean up the rankings, bro. Yo, you been suspect. You been suspect. And like I said, yeah, it could be race, but also Manny is not black, and he got bamboozled by them too. So I don't know what's going on, man. And it's just, you know, it's just a lot of shit that don't make no sense, man. So should I see the fight with Jamal James? No, you got me watching a 4-man tournament to decide who's the super champion. And, you know, I went back and I looked at Sardinos. You know, he's a young dude, right? He's up and coming. He doesn't deserve it. So, but a tournament makes him deserve to fight UGAS. You see the disrespect? You see the disrespect, right? From 13 wins and 0 losses, you're going to fight UGAS. UGAS is about 35 years old. He ain't got time for all this shit, man. He proved himself. He proved himself. Manny Pacquiao, he beat Jamal. Why are we going to have to do that over again, right? So you can figure out what you want to do with your belts, which you created in the fucking first place. Listen, man. Now, Spence, you know, he wanted this fight also. So you fucked over Manny Pacquiao, the WBA, you fucked over UGAS, and you fucked over Spence. I mean, I'm being fair. This is the way I see it, man. You promised UGAS a fight with Spence, and then you apologize to Manny Pacquiao for doing the moves you did in the first place. Yo, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here for you to read between the lines, and let's see what's going on with reading between the lines at the end game of this situation the WBA is doing. And what promotion company is this going to help, or whatever with their agenda? Let's see what's going on at the end, because there's a lot of awkward moves going on. Doesn't matter what the color is, it's just some awkward moves that's making me feel like it's under the table. This is what's going on, or they want to make more money. But these moves are horrible, man. Yeah, you got different divisions of super champion. You could do all of them that way if you're really trying to clean it up at one time. And yeah, I did all my research about, you know, there's certain ones that setting super champions mandatories and all this shit. But if you really want to do a tournament, put Virgil Ortiz in it, because he's number 2, and take out UGAS out of it. Sardonis, Virgil Ortiz, Ramos, I think it's Butnev. Hey, put in Boots Ennis, man. Put in Boots Ennis in this tournament, man. Right? And then let them fight to see who could be the mandatory to fight UGAS. And leave UGAS alone. Let him do his unification. Whoever wins that unification got to fight that WBA mandatory. Or you could just let... I really don't want to see UGAS fight Jamal James again, man. See, all these are risks. This man is at 35. Sardonis could be a risk. Jamal James could be a risk, even though he beat him. So why are we going backwards? Are we going back, or we going to the future? Which one is it? Back to the future? Back or to the future? What is it, man? So listen, man, this WBA, they show their hand that we don't know what the moves are benefiting. We don't know. We read it between the lines. And sometimes we off the line sometimes because we see Manny Pacquiao. How can they do that to Manny Pacquiao? Then apologize, right? But then they do this to UGAS too. And then they do this to Spence. Man, I'm done, man. I'm tired. Let's move on to the next video. But at the end of this video, I congratulate Terrence Crawford for doing what he did on stage at that press conference with Porter, and putting these networks and these advisors, because everybody say, oh, he's an advisor, right? And then, oh, he's a promoter. So if you got a promoter, you can't do what you want to do, and you got an advisor, but we're still not seeing the fights, right? But as long as these two come together and say, yes, we're doing good work together, this is a new day. Everybody need to say that slogan. It's a new day. And hold that shit. What Bob Arum said, anytime somebody have an interview with him, say it's a new day, isn't it? No. Don't play like you got Alzheimer's and you've dementia and shit. It's a new day, right? Yo, leave me the fuck alone, man.